lie, I feel blessed. I can't lie, I feel blessed. I'm trying not to be too hard on myself, placing God over wealth, placing time over vanity. I'm thankful for my health. I know I played the game a couple ways. I'm trying to find my wave. I know I made mistakes that I can't change, can only change my ways. So all in all, my heart is pure, my thought is sure, my mind is open. Another chapter in the book, ain't got no time to close it. But I ain't rushing through a moment in this journey. Ain't discussing what I know, just what I'm learning. Trying to grow, I hope you heard me and don't hold me to my past thoughts. We pass time with fine wine and lemon lime talk. Raise a glass to the present, and the past was a blessing. But moving forward to the future, looking bright as heaven. So I'm squinting with this grin, with the sun all on my skin. Having fun, I can't pretend. We should do this one more again. I got my mind made up, I'ma live my life full. Releasing all my failures, that's a pretty nice tool. I feel blessed. I can't lie, 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 I feel blessed. Blessed. Know exactly who I am right in the mirror. Ain't a person on this earth that's my superior. Drinking all this water, think my skin can't get no clearer. Can't nobody make me feel inferior. I'm locked in, my foundation's solid. The sins of a nation ain't enough to block my knowledge. I'ma prosper regardless. Showing empathy, I'll never be heartless. And what's meant for me is mine. I'm aiming straight at my target. I got a clear vision, a definition of success and a real mission. Asking God to guide my steps, and I'm still tipping, still whipping down the boulevard. The results of every lie that we done took apart. I'm blessed. I can't lie, I feel 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 blessed. Blessed.
The truth is so plain to see. The truth is so plain to see. The truth is so plain to see. Cause we spittin' the truth and nothing else.
All right. Shalom, Israel. Shalom, brothers and sisters in the faith. Thank you for joining me for this live. It's live on Tuesday night. All right, we're doing every lesson every Tuesday night, whether it be a live lesson or a pre-recorded lesson. I will make sure to drop a lesson for the saints every Tuesday. All right, and we got the origin of demons for this lesson, right? It's called The Origin of Demons, the Legacy of the Watchers, right? And as you see in the background, right, I'm gonna try to flip through and try to give you guys some some visuals in the background, so you can try to visualize what's going on during these times, right? If you guys can hear me, I want a 1 in the comment board. If you can hear me loud and clear, please give me a 1. A 2 if you cannot. If I need to turn up my mic and turn it down. 1 in the comments if you can hear me. 2 if you cannot. All right, Khan, all praises to the Most High. All right. So let's get started with this lesson, right? It's called The Origin of Demons, right? And also, before we start this lesson, it would be good for you to get a pencil and paper so you can jot down some notes, because I went through the trouble of putting this stuff in chronological order for us so we can see exactly what happened in the timeline that it happened. And so if anybody has any questions on, hey, how in the world did we get unclean spirits on the earth? Where did demons come from, right? And things of that nature, you'll be able to answer their questions emphatically. All right, so we're going to start with the canonical witness, right? We're going to go to Jude, the book of Jude. We're going to go to chapter 1, because there's only one chapter in Jude. All right, we're going to start at verse 6. And I wanted to start first with the canonical witness, so we understand that this is just not stuff that I'm just making up, because we are going to be going to the hidden books like Enoch and Jubilees, right? Because a lot of the precepts that back up each other, they go back and forth between those two books, as long as we also get just a little smidget of it in the canonical reference here of the 66 books, right? But I noticed that those that decided to translate the Bible and give it to the masses, they decided to leave these really pivotal points out. All right, so we're going to start with Jude chapter 1. It says, "And the angels which kept not their first estate," and the angels which kept not their first estate, which is what? Which is heaven. So it means that if they didn't keep their first estate, that they left that, right? but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication. Right? You see, a lot of people, they say that, hey man, there's no such thing as the angels having sex or anything doing like that in man. Well, this is this right here is a clear indication, even in the canonical version, that they did some type of sexual activity, meaning fornication. Right? It says, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh. And we know in the scriptures that we don't mix beasts, we don't do anything like that, because the Most High, he likes things to stay as they are, as he created them. Right? So it says, after going after strange flesh, art set forth an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. All right. So I wanted to get that first, right, before we jump into Jubilees, so we understand that there is a reference from the canonical version of the angels actually committing debauchery of some sort. All right. So let's go to Jubilees chapter 4. Like I said, get a pencil and paper, because we're going to go down this in a chronological order. All right. And this is Jubilees chapter 4, and we're going to start at 15, right? Because we want to see, like, I also want to build a base of showing you, like, the angels coming down and why they came down. Like, well, what was their mission? Why were they on the earth in the first place, right? Jubilees chapter 4, start verse 15. In the second week of the 10th Jubilee, Mahalalel took unto him to wife Dana, the daughter of Barakachel, the daughter of his father's brother, and she bare him a son in the 3rd week of the 6th year. And he called his name Jared, for in his days the angels of the Lord descended on the earth. Right. And see, this is why I believe that they ended up getting their temptation, right? Because they were instructed to do what? Right. Those angels, right, they had descended on the earth, those who are named the Watchers, that they should instruct the children of men that they should do judgment and uprightness on the earth. Right. That was their main mission of why they were here, because in those days, like, we didn't have unclean spirits in the old world. It was just outright wickedness. Right. It was just outright wickedness. You can go through the old world, and you can go through the Old Testament and before the flood, and you will never find any mention of evil spirits. Right. Because the angels, their first mission, they were to come down here and they were to do what? They were to preach righteousness, but they ended up falling into temptation. All right. Let's go to Enoch chapter 7, verse 1. All right. You see, this is where it starts. And it happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days, that daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful. Right. And so remember, now I'm going through the history on how the angels, some kind of way, right? And we're going to get to the explanation later on. I'm going to explain fully how the angels, all the reason, the Watchers, all the reason why we have demons today on the earth. We're going through a litany of situations that we're dealing with, right? Because of this fantastical earth that Hamashiach made with the power of the Almighty. All right, it says, and it happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days, that the daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful, right? And there was a reason why they described that, right? Because you see now that it wasn't just that they wanted to create progeny, but the angels, they had lust in their eyes, right? And when the angels, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, right? Hey, there's a wild, women are beautiful, saying to each other, come, let us select for ourselves wives from the progeny of men, and let us beget children. Then the leader, Samyaza, said to them, I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise, that I alone shall suffer for so grievous a crime. But they answered him and said, we all swear. All right, and see, this is the beginning of sin, right? Well, this is the beginning, right? This is the beginning of when they don't even understand what they're doing, but they're getting ready to create something on the earth that cannot be wiped away, and that will plague mankind until the earth is destroyed. But they answered and they said, we all swear and bind ourselves by mutual excretions, that we will not change our intention but execute our projected undertaking. Then they swore all together, and all bound themselves in mutual excretions. Their whole number was 200 who descended upon Ardis, which is upon the Mount Harmon. That mountain, therefore, was called Harmon, because they sworn upon it and bound themselves by mutual excretions. Right, and so these are the names of the chiefs of the demons. These are the names of the chiefs. Samyaza, who was their leader. Urakabarmil, Salaki on the pronunciation, Israel. Akabel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Sarakanal, Azael, Armors, Betrael, Anai, Zive, Samazel, Artrel, Turel, Yirmael, Azarel, and these were prefects of the 200 angels, and the remainder were all with them. Right, so they had chiefs. They had these. It looks like 13 chiefs, it may be. Right, let's count. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Right, so they had 18 chiefs. Right, 18 chiefs of angels. And under these 18 chiefs, they had the other angels, and then automatically they totaled a 200 count. Right, they totaled a 200 count. These bad. All right, let's go to right. I also want to show, right. Let's go back to Jude again. Salakia. Let's go back to Jude one more time, because I also want to, because see, that right there tells you that what they wanted to go down, get the children of men, and have progeny. That's the exact same thing that the book of Jude was talking about. Right? Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them, in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, and set forth an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal life. Let's go to Genesis. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1. Chapter 6, Salakia. And this is another count in the canonical version. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they choose. Right? Let's go back to Enoch. So we got to go precept upon precept, and we're going to build this thing from the ground up to understand how these demons came to exist. Slack, Enoch chapter 7. Right? Let's go to 10. Just like we read in Genesis chapter 6, what does it say right here in chapter 10? I mean in chapter 7 in Enoch, verse 10. Then they took wives, each choosing for himself whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabitated, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the dividing of roots and trees. Right? The women in those days were powerful. Imagine if you had 200 of the heavenly beings. They were all dealing with women. Man, the Lord wasn't playing back in the day when King Saul was ruling, and the Lord had commanded him to kill all the witches on the land. Kill every witch you come in contact with. Put them to death. And the women conceiving brought forth giants, whose stature was each 300 cubits. Whose stature was each 300 cubits. Are you serious, man? Do you know how big that is right there? 300 cubits. These devour all which the labor of men produced, until it became impossible to feed them. Right? So the children of men, they were suffering during this time when the giants were there. All right. Took them women, made giants. Right? And then now you have to ask yourself, how does that work? How does the spirit of a heavenly being that was made to last forever reside within a giant? Right? See, we're getting somewhere. When they turned themselves against men in order to devour them, right? So after they couldn't feed them no more, all the crops were done. They were done chewing up all the all the lambs and then the goats, right? They started to turn on men. There's a reason why the Most High said, hey, we got to have a flood and wipe everybody out. Everybody got to die. We can't continue this wickedness and killing and murder and slaughter. 200 angels running around going crazy. And began to injure birds, beasts, reptiles, and fish, to eat their flesh one after another, and to drink their blood. Then the earth reproved the righteous. Let's go to another one, right? Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going, Israel. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 6. Because we're going to link it up now. Remember, I tell you, please write these down because this is chronological order. Slovakia. Genesis 6, chapter 4. If the music is too loud or anything like that, let me know and I'll turn it down. Right? Like I said, it's right. And there were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of men became into the daughters of men, they bare children unto them. And the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Giants. We saw it in Enoch. Boom. You can't say that this is not true, right? As much as people want to believe that it's not true, right? And they want to be, oh, there's no such thing as, why would the angels do that? Hey, Adam did it. Adam went off for a woman, and he was born perfect. Enoch chapter 8. Moreover, Azazel taught men. He taught men to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, the fabrication of mirrors, and the workmanship of bracelets and ornaments, the use of paint, the beautifying of the eyebrows. Oh, makeup. Azazel is the one that taught women how to wear makeup. This didn't come from the Most High. This came from a wicked angel that fell into lust and descended upon the earth and created giants. The use of stones of every valuable and select kind, and the use of all dyes, so that the world became altered, so that the world became, man, the Most High didn't make you to try to value diamonds and things. No. Impiety increased, fornication multiplied, and they transgressed and corrupted all their ways. Impiety increased, fornication multiplied, and they transgressed and corrupted all their ways. Let's go to Enoch chapter 10. We're getting there. All the earth has been corrupted by the effects of the teachings of Azazel. To him, therefore, ascribe the whole crime. To Gabriel, also, the Lord said, go to the biters and to the reprobates, to the children of the fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, the offspring of the watchers. So the Lord sent Gabriel down to make war and to kill the Nephilim. From among men, bring them forth and excite them one against another. Let them perish by mutual slaughter. Came down, killed them, started beef between the families of the angels. They had the children of Nephilim. For a length of the days shall not be theirs. The Lord wasn't playing. All right. The Lord didn't want them children on the earth. They shall all entreat thee, but the fathers shall not obtain their wishes, respecting them, for they shall hope for eternal life, and that they may live, each of them, 500 years. To Michael, likewise, the Lord said, go and announce his crime to Samyaza and to the others who are with him, who have been associated with women, that they might be polluted in all their impurity. And when all the sons shall be slain, when they shall see the perdition of their beloved, bind them for 70 generations underneath the earth, even to the day of judgment, and of the consummation, unto the judgment, the effect of which will last forever, be completed. Then they shall be taken away into the lowest depths of the fire and torments, and in confinement shall they be shut up forever. Immediately after this shall he together with them burn and perish. They shall be bound until the consummation of many generations. So the Lord saw the wickedness that was on the earth, and he was like, you know what? Hey, man, let's get rid of these angels. Sam Yaza and all them boys that was with them, right? The Lord first started with what? He started with the chiefs, right? The fathers of the fathers of these Nephilim, the fathers of these giants, this mixed bastard between human and angel. The Lord said, well, first we got to get rid of the fathers that are leading them. They decided to come over here and make war, show everybody all the weapons and the technology, but they didn't show them the clean technology, right? They wanted to show you the technology that they could hoard and keep and make rulership over people. Let's go to 2 Peter. Let's go back to the canonical versions. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. All right, we're going to go precept by precept. We're going to show that this is true. Angels actually did come down from heaven, 200 of them, after they made a pact, right? After they made a pact, and they said, what we're going to do? We're going to make a pact, and we're going to we're going to do some wickedness. That's what we're going to do. Salaka, here we go. All right. They came down. They saw some women down here. Salaka about the images. They should be like, more melanated, right? But AI can only do so much. But they came down and they made a pact. Hey, we're gonna do, we're gonna do this thing. But the Lord judged them all, locked them up. And the scriptures read, for if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them unto chains, into darkness, to be reserved unto judgment. So let's follow the pattern. So the Lord, right, he decided to get rid of the angels first. So what's the next that we got to get rid of, right? That's causing a lot of wickedness on the earth. Let's go back to Enoch, chapter 15. Boom. Now the giants who have been born of spirit and of flesh. Now the giants who have been born of spirit and of flesh shall be called upon earth evil spirits, right? So we're understanding where evil spirits come from. This is the first mention of evil spirits, and this is where they come from. Right now, the giants who have been born of spirit and of flesh shall be called upon the earth evil spirits, and on earth shall be their habitation. Evil spirits shall proceed from their flesh, because they were created from above. From the holy watchers was their beginning and primary foundation. Evil spirits shall they be upon the earth. Right? Y'all remember when it said legion, and he had all those unclean spirits in them? These were the spirits of the Nephilim. That's why they were like, oh, Lord, we know who you are. Just put us into the pigs. These are the spirits of the Nephilim. Evil spirits shall they be upon the earth, and the spirits of the wicked shall they be called. The habitation of the spirits of heaven shall be in heaven. But upon the earth shall be the habitation of the terrestrial spirits who are born on the earth. The spirits of the giants shall be like clouds, which oppress, corrupt, fall, contend, and bruise upon the earth. They shall cause lamentation. No food shall they eat, and they shall be thirsty, and they shall be concealed. And not one rise up against the sons of men and against women, for they come forth during the days of slaughter and destruction. Let's go to Jubilees. All right, precept upon precept. I think it's 10. All right, and we're about to close out here on this lesson. Let me show you a little something real quick. Fuck yeah. All right, so we see that one thing that we do see in the scriptures, that from the giants, that we have the evil, wicked spirits. They arose from the dead bodies. They don't eat. They don't sleep. They don't. Man, that sounds like a terrible existence. They're thirsty because they've known thirst, or they're hungry because they've known hunger, because they've actually lived in those bodies. They lived a fleshly, a flesh life. Man, I mean, that's the ultimate. That is the ultimate, punishment. The Lord just letting them, walk around here, and not all of them either. So we're gonna get to some more. We're gonna see. This is probably like the final part I really wanted you guys to understand. All right, because the flood, after the flood came, everybody died. That was wicked, right? Including the giants and the flesh of the giants. But the only thing that remained, right? The flood didn't kill the wicked, evil spirits. Right. So that what was left after the flood. Right. That's what was left after the flood. Let's go. Let me see. Matter of fact, all right, we'll start from number 1, and we're gonna close out with this, right? No. You know what? Because I want you guys to know about demons and unclean spirits and where they came from, but I also want you to know how to protect yourselves from them. And I'm gonna get one verse that's going to say it all at the end of this. So Jubilees chapter 10, right? We're going to start at verse 1. And it says, in the 3rd week of this Jubilee, the unclean demons, right, began to lead astray the children of the sons of Noah, and to make error and destroy them. And the sons of Noah came to Noah their father, and they told him concerning the demons which were leading astray and blinding and slaying his sons. And he prayed before, because remember now, Noah lived 950 years, right? 950 years. So he was old. He said they told him it was slaying his sons. And he prayed before the Lord his God and said, God of the spirits of all flesh, who has shown mercy unto me and has saved me and my sons from the waters of the flood, and has not caused me to perish as thou didst the sons of perdition. For thy grace has been great towards me, and great has been thy mercy to my soul. Let thy grace lift up upon my sons, and let not wicked spirits rule over them, lest they should destroy them from the earth. But do thou bless me and my sons, that we may increase and multiply and replenish the earth. And thou knowest how thy watchers, all right, and thou knowest how thy watchers, the fathers of these spirits, right? So who are the fathers of the evil spirits? Precept upon precept. I'm telling you, I will make sure that you have a perfect kind of chronological order to understand where these demons come from, unclean spirits, and how they were created and who they came from. The fathers of these spirits were the watchers. It says it in the canonical version, it says it in Enoch, and it says it in Jubilees. The fathers of these spirits acted in my day, right? Because Noah was still on the earth in the old days, right? And as for these spirits which are living, imprison them and hold them fast in the place of condemnation, and let them not bring destruction on my sons of thy servant, my God. For these are malignant and created in order to destroy. And let them not rule over the spirits of the living, for thou alone canst exercise dominion over them. And let them not have power over the sons of the righteous from henceforth and forevermore. And the Lord our God bade us to bind all. And the chief of the spirits, Mastema, right? Now, Mastema is Satan. Okay, this is another word for Satan. And in the Hebrew, Mastema means, I believe it means the master of hostility. That's what it is, right? I believe it's called the master of hostility, right? Or the master of hatred, right? Which is the prince of hatred, right? Or the prince of hostility is Mastema. All right, so he's the same person as Satan. Came and said, Lord Creator, let some of them remain before me. So this is Satan, right? He asked in Hamashiach, hey, let them remain before me, and let them hearken to my voice, and do all that I shall say unto them. For if some of them are not left to me, I shall not be able to execute the power of my will on the sons of men. For these are for corruption and leading astray before my judgment, for great is the wickedness of the sons of men. Now, if you follow me on Mind of the Brotherhood with me and Brother Daniel, we speak often and let you know that Satan is he's like the scout, right? He'll come out, he'll test you, and see if you're worthy for the kingdom. That's it. That's his duty. And he is commanded by the Most High, as we see in Job when the sons of God came and, he had to ask Hamashiach if he could, bother Job and, so forth and so forth and so on. Satan is not out here running amok doing whatever he wants to do. All right. Hey, appreciate that, Pops. All the scriptures down there. It says, and he said, a 10th part of them remain before him, right? And he said, let the 10th part of them remain before him, and let 9 parts descend into the place of condemnation. So what does that mean? Right? Out of the 100% of the children that the Watchers created, there's no telling how many there were, right? How many children they created in that amount of time, because they had years upon years right before the flood. Right before the flood, that's when God decided to destroy the angels, right? Destroy the angels and kill all the Nephilim off. Right? He killed all the he killed off the rest of the Nephilim, with the flood and the war that Michael and Gabriel had set forth down here. Right? So out of the children that were made, there's no telling how many of them were made. I mean, they're angels, so there's no telling how many children they made. Out of all those children that were made, the Lord had got rid of 90% of them and sent them in the place of condemnation, what we call hell. And 10% remains under the rulership of Satan. Man, ain't that scary? And one of us, he commanded that we shall teach Noah all their medicines, for he know that they would not walk in uprightness, nor strive in righteousness. And we did according to all his words. All the malignant evil ones we bound in the place of condemnation, and a 10th part of them were left, so they might be subject before Satan on the earth. So Israel, how do we get rid of how do we protect ourselves from these malignant spirits, from these demons, unclean spirits? Right? This goes back to the same thing, right? The same thing I always talk about every single lesson. Wherever you see me here on my channel, Itan Zacchaeus, or Bond of the Brotherhood with me and Brother Daniel, right? It always goes back to the same thing. This is the only way that you become protected. It says, submit yourselves therefore to God. How do you submit yourselves to the Most High? Keep the commandments. Right? The scriptures say the same thing in a million different ways, right? To try to get us to get it. Because Israel is slow. We are a stiff-necked people. The scriptures say, submit yourselves therefore to God, right? Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. So keep the commandments. Do not succumb to sin, and they'll leave you alone. It's just that simple, Israel. I appreciate y'all joining me. This is about it for the lesson. I pray that each and every one of you have a blessed week, Israel. Be productive out there. State of the faith. Keep your prayers up strong. And let's pray for each other this week. All right, Israel. And with that, hey, Shalom, Israel, and stay strong.